Hello, I'm April Borschelt and welcome to my channel. I thought it'd be fun to do a sketch with me kind of video. I was planning on doing some horses today. They're like one of my favorite animals. Oh, that's my dog, Lily, in the background. But yeah, horses are probably one of my most favorite animals. And they're incredibly complicated to draw, but yeah, this is just going to be a chill video. No promises my sketches will be any good anyways. Yeah, just come and sketch with me, grab some coffee, tea, water, or no liquid, and sketch with me. It could be horses or not horses. I gathered all my reference from just Google. This one's already turning out kind of funny. Yeah, I've been drawing horses pretty much since I started drawing. One of the first drawings my mom ever kept of mine was of a horse. I remember in the first house that I remember, there was a little horse field near our house, and my mom would take us to feed them apples and stuff, and I think that's probably where it stemmed from. Also, my aunt had horses also for as long as I can remember, and she's let me ride them, which has been super, super fun. Really thankful for that. I also wished every year on my birthday for probably 15 years or so that I wanted a horse so bad. But I mean, the older I got, the more I realized how much work they are. And they're so expensive. But they're so much fun to ride. One of my dreams is to go out to Colorado someday or Wyoming and ride them just out in a massive piece of land, possibly as fast as I could go. I mean, that's safe, but I would love that. When you draw and you talk, do you just black out? I feel like I do sometimes. I felt like every time I drew a horse when I was growing up, I would find something new. And I remember the time I found out that this part existed, right here. I don't know why, but it blew my mind. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just unlocked a key to the puzzle. It's like every time I figured out how to draw a horse even better, I was like, I get it. I get it even more. I also collect Breyer horses, if anyone knows what those are. I love Breyer horses. And there's a series of them at one point where they kind of had cheap paint. I don't know what year it was or era or anything, but there was definitely a few years where they came out with ones that weren't so great. It was like shiny paint. My favorite kind of Breyer horses are the matte colored ones. I'm married and we have Breyer horses in our bedroom. Thankfully, my husband lets me keep them up. It's just a few, but still. Okay. They're really cool because they're muscle accurate and most of the time color accurate. There was definitely a phase in my art career where I did not draw horses very often. Ooh, I think I'm gonna run out of room. Oh no, maybe not. Bring his neck up. And maybe make his head go up. There's a Dunkin' Donuts coming in, or being built right outside of my neighborhood. And I'm actually really excited for it because I can ride my bike to it and set up an area where I can just sketch. I've always kind of wanted to be that coffee sketch person, but it just never was convenient. I felt like me just being in my own space would benefit more. But if it's that close to my house, I'm like, might as well just go over there and hang out. So I'm actually looking forward to it. The materials I'm using, I actually got this pencil. It's what is it? Statler? From Japan 2 years ago. It's probably my most favorite pencil to draw with right now. I love it because it's so thin and clean looking. And then I got this sketchbook literally maybe a few hours ago. My cousin-in-law actually got it for me for Christmas. It's a Harry Potter sketchbook. And I was like, you know what? It'd be fun to just fill it with sketches. Duh. But like most of the time I don't actually finish sketchbooks. So I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna put pressure on this one. I'm just gonna do it. It's not gonna be perfect art. It's not gonna be like hardcore finished art. It's just gonna be art. I'm gonna make his head smaller. I ran out of paper, so. So there's also a series of art I'm going to be hopefully making in 2021 that I'm really excited about. I've literally thought about making it for years, and I feel like I'm finally in a place where I can execute it. And it may or may not have something to do with horses. I feel like this probably is just gonna end up being a let's talk about horses video, but something that I always looked at in video games was how they animated their horses. It always really bothered me when they would animate like the hoof part straight instead of curving it. I'm not sure why. I'm like, why was there no one on the team that was like, hey, this is actually how a horse's foot moves? Or if they just didn't do research or something. I don't know. Same with like Red Dead. I love Red Dead, and one of my favorite things about it was that they animated the horses correctly. I'm just gonna do this guy's butt because it's a really nice butt. It's funny, for how much I do art in general during the day, I don't actually sketch that much. I'm sure the trained eye can probably tell that from my sketches, but yeah, not that much. And that's definitely something I want to get better at. I also want to do more color studies. But there's always only so much time in the day, but of course at the same time it's like, well, what do you do with that time in the day? My husband and I, Joshua, he and I watched Twilight the other night because I had just finished the book Midnight Sun. It was from Edward's point of view, and no offense to I think, okay, don't kill me, I'm pretty sure it's Stephanie Meyer. No offense to her, but it wasn't very good. But here's why. So I don't feel like it was great because I could tell that she has developed as an author. So with that in mind, I think she really stepped up her game with like description and really trying to like feel emotions. But outside of that, it was tough. It was tough to read because with all the introspection, you actually ended up losing the plot. But my reward for finishing the book was by watching the movie again. I read Twilight, years ago. I was always late to the train when it came to popular things. So I read it late. But I did see the movie, so I read the book before the movie came out. And I remember really liking the books. And when the movie came out, I was like, oh man, like they missed so much. And I didn't like it. And then the older I got, I started kind of like watching them as a joke with my sister. But by the time we got to the last couple movies, we both were like, oh my gosh, these are actually pretty good. We started enjoying them at least. And then my husband and I found New Moon, which is the second movie, at a dollar store, or at Dollar Tree. And I was like, oh, let's get it. Because that one's my favorite one. I think it has some really cool stuff in it. And so we watched it, again, kind of as a joke, but also I kind of wanted to watch it. We watched it during our 3-year anniversary. This past year, actually. And Joshua, my husband, actually liked it. And he's like, oh, you know what? I keep thinking about Twilight and I kind of want to see them now, like, because he had never seen them. And so I found like the whole set at Target for $15, like all of the movies in one package. And I was like, Joshua. And he's like, buy it. So I bought it. And yeah, we actually enjoyed it, which was fun. It was just fun. I've been wanting to do fan art or something of Twilight. Again, also for fun. But it's hard to not get Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart out of your head after you've seen the movie version of Twilight. I feel like that happens with, like, after you watch the movie version of the book you saw, or read, saw. Then it's hard to replace who you envisioned, you know? So, that's why I haven't. But yeah, my husband and I also, I'm just gonna say Joshua. You guys know who he is now. Joshua and I were also talking about how Stephanie Meyer ended up creating pretty interesting vampires. Because, I mean, the glitter thing is actually pretty cool. And then the fact that they don't sleep and how their eyes change color depending upon, like, how much blood they've drank or not. It's cool. Would I have picked a vampire life? Probably not. Probably would have been a werewolf, because being a wolf is pretty darn cool. Especially like a dire wolf. Another movie I'm super, super looking forward to is Dune. I am so excited. I actually had a dream the other night that I was finally seeing that movie, and I was so excited. And Joshua was sitting in the theater with me, and the movie had started and having a great time and everything. And I was like, oh, like, I know what's about to happen here, because I read the book. I know what's about to happen. So I'm going to get some popcorn. So I got up and left, and I stand in line forever, and I finally come up to the counter, and the lady ends up talking me into getting fish baits instead for like $40. And I ended up buying it, and then I was all mad because I'm like, man, I didn't get any popcorn. So then I go to another line to get food, and by the time I get back, I had literally missed all the parts that I was looking forward to in the movie. And I tell Joshua, I'm like, why didn't you come and get me? Why didn't you come and get me? He's like, oh, I don't know. I thought you were just gonna show up eventually. And I'm like, no. But of course, in my dream, like my dream mind, I only knew what I had seen in the trailer. And so my mind had only filled in the gaps of what I had seen in the trailer. So my dream self, that was all I saw in the theater, and I was so mad. I was like, no, I wanted to see him ride the worms. Where are the worms? But thankfully, I didn't miss it, because it's not in theaters yet. So that's good. I was doing some research today, and apparently there is a really famous wild horse out. It's a Mustang. It's a wild Mustang, and his name is, oh gosh, what's his name? Oh, well, now I forgot. Now I feel silly. It'll come to me. But anyways, he's famous. And people take photos of him when they spot him out in the wild. It's actually really cool. He's a beautiful horse. I feel silly that I don't remember his name. It's probably because I'm on the spot. What I'm sketching, I'm just kind of like getting the main form, like putting down the spots to where I can map out where things are associated to each other. So like, for instance, in this reference photo, his knee is like right under his nose. Because when you associate things with certain like checkpoints, then you generally are able to get a more accurate drawing. But also horses are hard, so sometimes it's hard to really capture like the thinness of a neck. I love their little wrinkles. His chest is like way up there. Muscle boy. It also helps knowing like the anatomy of something and how it works and how it turns in its form. I'm definitely not an expert with horses, but they have so much muscle under their thin coats. It definitely helps when you kind of like understand what is going on there. I'm very much a movie person on a totally rando topic. I think it'd be really fun to have like a movie blog and just dissect movies. Sometimes I'm like, oh, if I wasn't an artist or could pursue something also as much as I do this, it would probably be like movie editor or and then movie critic. The only problem is that I'm not a big horror film person because it's scary. So I'd have to be kind of like a specific critic. Like, oh, I could watch this genre. My friends call it April friendly, where it's like, okay, I can handle this certain type of movie, but not this. Very specific rules. This past year, I started really pushing my traditional work, or at least like doing that more often than my digital, because it was what I went to school for. I went to school for drawing and painting, and so when I got into video games as a career, I was kind of getting sad that I wasn't painting anymore, wasn't drawing as much. And so I actually started getting scared to paint. And so this last year, I've kind of been just like hyping myself up and doing more oil paintings. to really reduce that fear, to be like, okay, it's not all gone. I remember it. I mean, I definitely forgot a lot. Definitely goes to show you, like, you know, it's like working out. If you don't work out that muscle that much anymore, it's probably gonna go away. And my traditional skills were definitely weak. It was mostly I was lacking confidence. I mean, I still lack confidence, but it's a lot better. I'm actually doing this video, which honestly was a big deal for me. I was really scared to do it. But, you know, I'm glad you guys are here with me. There's a museum near where I live. I live in Georgia, and the museum's called the Booth Museum. I went there I went there last year with my friend, and it was really inspiring just seeing all the Western art. Excuse me, because if you can't tell, I love horses so much. So it's so cool to see them painted so beautifully by so many artists, and how it's just kind of different for everyone, you know? I was like, if I could make a living just painting horses, that'd be pretty cool. I also felt like in high school is when I really stopped painting or drawing horses at all. I felt like it was, I don't know, childish isn't the right word, but I guess that's how I felt. And so I stopped doing it, and I actually feel like same with the whole muscle thing, because I stopped doing it, that muscle kind of got weaker. Like I forgot how to draw a horse after a while. Because, like, you know, when you go to a convention and someone's like, oh, or like you go up to an artist and you're like, oh, can you draw me something like really quick? Or I don't know, or they're gonna do a sketch for you in your notebook or something like that. And they have like their go-to, oh, I'll draw this. Mine used to be horses, and then it got to a point where I was not, I don't know, I just forgot how to do them. Because they're crazy complicated. It's actually been really fun. I hope you guys are having fun. If anyone's drawing with me, sketching, filling a notebook. I really want to do this more often. Because it could be a good challenge for me to actually like fill up a notebook. Be crazy. Be so long. When I mean it would be so long, it'd be so long since I've filled up a notebook. Or a sketchbook, I mean. I just started putting too much pressure on it. And, like, literally looking at my old sketchbooks, it would make me cry. Because I would look at them, mostly from high school. High school, I think, was the peak of me being the most explorative? With my own art and just drawing whatever I wanted. And plus that was way before Instagram and Twitter and all the social media that just sucks up your time. But I would draw when I was at home. I would draw in my bedroom. I would draw sometimes during class and just all the time. And then I look at myself now and I'm like, oh, I'm never drawing. But I'm making art all the time, but I'm not drawing. I'm not filling a notebook with how I feel or what I'm feeling anymore. I'm not exploring anything new. I put so much pressure on it. It has to be like a theme or a series in order for it to be worthy. Or I have to like know exactly what I'm going to draw. I don't know. It's just kind of sad. So that's why I'm excited to hopefully continue drawing and sketching and fill up a notebook again. His eyes are so funny looking. This guy's chest muscles are looking a little special, so I'm gonna try that again. It's a weird angle of a reference photo, so I'm trying to capture those muscles because they're so prominent and unique in horses. It's like, here's a muscle, and then there's like his elbow and his arm. We're getting there. Trial and error. I've been trying to learn Japanese too. It's been an uphill, not uphill, that sounds like I'm not enjoying it. It's really hard. Learning another language in general. This one's particularly difficult just because, I mean, it's a lot of symbols, and their sentence structure is so different, but it's so interesting at the same time. I have really enjoyed it. I just wish I could understand it faster. But what has been really neat is, let's say I'm listening to some Japanese music or something, I can start picking out certain words. I'm like, oh, they just said to eat. Or like you're watching an anime, because I like anime, and they say something, and I can understand them, and I don't have to look at the subtitles. It's definitely not perfect yet, by any means, but it's been pretty cool. I miss going over there. I mean, I've only gone in there once, but I really want to go again. I went 2 years ago. I've traveled a bit, and I'd probably say Japan was my favorite. I just really want to go again. And so, part of my motivation, because the first time I went, I did not know any Japanese at all. But granted, the country was so nice and really understanding, and really was nice if you at least tried saying the language, you know? And I really liked that. But I want to go back and be able to at least converse with people because they were just so nice. I'm just trying to kind of fill up the different spaces for fun. Just try not to make the space precious, you know, because this isn't meant to be a finished masterpiece. It's for practice. Eyeball's way too low. Try to draw smaller. I think this one might be my last one. I don't know why I think this one's probably like right here. I like drawing back legs or like this leg on a lot of animals because I feel like it really brings it dimension. And once you put in that back leg, you're like, yeah, back leg. Ooh, head's too low again. Oh no, he's gonna cut off.
Computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
raise his butt a little too. Oh, the head's still too big. Yeah, it's a little better. Here we go. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me and watching me draw horses and starting the first page of my sketchbook. I hope you guys had fun. Got to fill something in your sketchbook or just enjoyed your evening. Whatever, I hope it was good. Hopefully I'll see everyone soon and do another sketchbook page. Thanks again, guys. See you around. Bye.